Shiv Sena Supremo Uddhav Thackeray launched a broadside against his own ally, the BJP, saying that the BJP is like Kumbh and that the Shiv Sena would wake them up on the issue of the Ram Temple. On the other side, during public gatherings being addressed by Home Minister Rajnath Singh, by Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh Yogi Adityanath, by his deputies Keshav Maurya and Dinesh Sharma, there were groups of people who stood up and started raising slogans about how they would vote only for that party, that person who'd build the Ram Temple. Now, if it happened once, it could have been called a coincidence. It's happened again and again. Is this reflective of growing impatience on the issue of the delay around the construction of the Ram Temple, or is this being stage managed? Here's the story.
त्या कुंभकर्णाला जागा करण्याची आज आवश्यकता आहे. त्या कुंभकर्णाला जागा करण्यासाठी मी अयोध्येला गेलो होतो.
Shiv chief Uddhav Thackeray's big Ram Temple roar, accusing the BJP of sleeping on Hindus' long-standing demand to build the Ram Temple.
आज सुद्धा मी पंढरपुरामध्ये त्यासाठी आलेलो आहे की झोपलेल्या कुंभकर्णाला जागा करण्यासाठी आलेलो आहे. तमाम माझ्या हिंदूंना मी सोबत घेऊन आलेलो आहे आणि कुंभकर्णाला मी सांगू इच्छितोय, कुंभकर्णा तू जरी झोपला असलास तरी देशातला तमाम हिंदू जागा आहे, हिंदू झोपलेला नाही.
Just barely a month after the Sena's mega show of strength in Ayodhya, demanding a date when the Ram Temple will be built, here he is again reiterating the same demand.
पुढे चाललेलो आहे तो हा वारसा आहे. 30 वर्ष होत आली, आज तुम्ही सांगता की न्यायालयामध्ये हा मुद्दा आहे. मग 30 वर्षापूर्वी ज्या वेळेला तिकडे बाबरी होती त्यावेळेला तुमच्या डोक्यात अक्कल नव्हती की हा मुद्दा कोर्टामध्ये जाईल म्हणून.
But if Uddhav was raising the Ram Temple pitch in Pandharpur, the BJP was not one to be left behind. Here's the BJP's poster boy for Hindutva pledging that only BJP can build the mandir at the alleged Ram Janmabhoomi.
राम जन्मभूमि के बारे में कुछ लोग बोल रहे थे कि जो राम का मंदिर बनाएगा ये मित्रों, ये कार्य जो भी करेगा और जब भी करेंगे ये कार्य हम ही करेंगे, कोई दूसरा नहीं करेगा.
But this promise came even as impatient crowds heckled the chief minister, his deputy and even the home minister, declaring that the one who builds the temple will get votes in 2019.
The UP Chief Minister has spoken many times about the Ram Temple construction. He has given a lot of assurances, not only in Lucknow but also in Ayodhya, but there is no time frame for the Ram Mandir construction, and no assurance of any time has been given by any top leader so far. The top leaders of the BJP are saying that the matter is pending in Supreme Court and they are waiting for the Supreme Court verdict. But let me tell you that a crucial meeting of saints have been called in Prayagraj in January during the Kumbh Mela, and it is expected that top BJP leaders and RSS leaders are also going to participate in that event, in which a final decision on Ram Mandir construction would take place.
As chorus for Mandir grows and the Supreme Court is getting ready to decide whether urgent hearings on the Ayodhya title suit in January, but it seems that patience of those demanding a temple is running out. With Nilanshu Shukla in Lucknow and Pankaj Khelkar in Pandharpur and Sahil Joshi in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Home Minister Rajnath Singh, UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, Deputy Chief Ministers Dinesh Sharma, Keshav Prasad Maurya, 4 BJP leaders over the last few days have been booed and heckled during public meetings by supporters who are attending these meetings with slogans like Mandir jo banayega, vote usi ko jayega. Is impatience growing? Are the BJP, RSS, VHP cadre trying to force the BJP's hand, or is this just stage managed to try and force the government into moving a law on the Ram Mandir? Joining us on the Newsroom Showdown tonight, I want to introduce first Shriraj Nair, spokesperson of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad. Amit Malviya represents the BJP. Mahmood Paracha is a member of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board. Sharad Pradhan is our senior political analyst from Lucknow. Shriraj Nair, I come to you first. You know, 4 BJP leaders have been booed. They've given assurances. Do you believe that this heckling is part of a spontaneous chant coming from the crowd? Or is this being stage managed by the likes of the VHP to put pressure on the Modi government, to put pressure on the central government to bring a law on the Ram Mandir issue, which you've been asking for, but they've not moved so far about?
Rahul, absolutely not. There is no question of stage managing at all. The emotions are running high. Rahul, if you see, when the matter came in the month of October, the Honorable Chief Justice said the issue of Ram Temple at Ayodhya is not a matter of priority. That statement shattered the Hindus of the country as well as the Hindus staying abroad. So, and if you see, we conducted Dharma Sabhas across the nation, and the guys who booed, the boys who booed at the venue of at Lucknow, we found lakhs and lakhs of youth coming on the ground. The emotions are running high. Now the Hindus cannot wait. We have to ensure that the government, and all the hopes are with the BJP government only. The Congress government has always ridiculed and mocked Hindus. They have arrested Hindu saints on wrong charges. So it is the BJP government wherein all the hope lies. So there is nothing wrong on booing or you know, shouting slogans. These boys wanted, they were Honorable Home Minister was there on the dais, or the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh was there. The hopes lie with the BJP government only, and we are also definitely hopeful, and we know that it is the BJP government that is only going to build the Ram Temple.
Paracha, do you think of this as a spontaneous chant coming from the audience? Because if it had happened once or twice, you could have called it an exception. It's happened 4 times now. Suggesting that there is a pattern, suggesting that there is growing restlessness and increasing impatience, or do you believe this is stage managed by the VHP RSS?
See, this is stage managed, but not in the sense what is being projected by you, but it is stage managed. It's a joint strategy of RSS and BJP because they have failed on all other fronts. So Mandir is the only emotive issue on which they can hope to garner some votes. And the glaring example of that is Mr. Rakesh Sinha, who boasted that he is going to bring a bill. So where is he from the national scene now? He's been relegated to I don't know what oblivion. So there is no way they have any other thing. So therefore they are just, this is a collusive strategy. They want to bring RSS and BJP and Vishwa Hindu Parishad, because Vishwa Hindu Parishad has made tons and tons of money because of Ram Mandir, and BJP has become politically relevant only because of Ram Mandir. They have no other thing to do.
Mr. Paracha, if you don't know anything, don't talk nonsense.
It is a spontaneous thing in the sense.
Amit Malviya,
thank you.
Is this shadow boxing?
But I have my point of view.
Amit Malviya,
this is my point of view.
The All India Muslim Personal Law Board accusing you of shadow boxing, that आप ही के लोगों से करवा रहे हो, करवाओ करो, so that it seems that there is a clamor. It seems that there is growing restlessness. He is saying that the BJP, the RSS, the VHP are doing this in tandem as part of a plan. The charge is that you failed to deliver your promises, and therefore you want to build this emotive issue by making it seem as if all of India is demanding a Ram Mandir. Amit Malviya, respond to the All India Muslim Personal Law Board.
You know, Rahul, the desire to see a grand Ram temple in Ayodhya is a civilizational expression. I don't think it is a matter of political expediency for us, and I don't even think that there is any political gain to be made out of a Ram temple. We have said this all along in several of our manifestos that we want to see a Ram temple there. The urgency or the impatience that you see today is born out of the fact that it has taken far too long in the judicial process for a judgment to come, and particularly after the Allahabad High Court judgment, which unequivocally said that there was a Ram temple which was demolished by the invader Babur, and the mosque was built and was a sign of imperialism, is a sign of subjugation by the Mughals who invaded us. It is about time that we regain our cultural identity, and the demand for Ram temple is a mere expression for that, and a very legitimate one at that. And I can tell you very categorically that while the Supreme Court is going to listen to the matter in January, we are absolutely committed to the temple, and it will be the BJP, Parivar, the VHP that will eventually pave the way for a Ram temple. I don't think the Muslim Personal Law Board or the Congress party would ever allow a Ram temple
Sharad
to come
Pradhan,
there.
most of this is happening in Uttar Pradesh. Rajnath Singh comes from Uttar Pradesh. Yogi Adityanath is the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. The other two gentlemen, Dinesh Sharma, Keshav Maurya, Deputy Chief Ministers in Uttar Pradesh. Is this spontaneous? In your view, is impatience genuinely increasing? Or do you believe, as the All India Muslim Personal Law Board alleges, this is shadow boxing?
Well, you know, there's some truth in both the things. But partly it may be true that yes, there is some small element, fringe element, which is coming, which is kind of getting passionate about the temple. It's only added a few numbers to what was already there, the captive vote bank of the BJP, which always keeps. And the interesting part is that they come up with this only when they are heading closer to the elections. In 1 year, they did not care to talk about the temple. The moment as the 2019 elections got closer, the voices started getting louder and louder. So there is reason to believe that there is a design behind it, and it is not spontaneous. There is the VHP and the RSS, and this, mind you, it is not trying to influence the government. They are trying to exercise undue influence on the Supreme Court, because this started happening no sooner than the Chief Justice of India said that this is not a priority. There are so many other things
this is not spontaneous, says Sharad Pradhan. This is part of a design. For 4.5 years, the VHP, the RSS said nothing. Suddenly, as we head into the last lap, building into an election year, you are upping the ante because you are trying to put pressure on the Supreme Court. If you were genuine, you would have said this on the 26th of May 2014. For 4.5 years, you did nothing, you said nothing. All the mobilization is happening in election season. Shiraj Nair, VHP.
See, Rahul, if you see, we all know that the Honorable Allahabad High Court gave a judgment in the year of 2010 September. Since then, we all have been very hopeful. All the parties went to the Honorable Supreme Court. We have been hopeful that the Supreme Court will hear the case. Supreme Court had all the times to hear about where Mr. Karunanidhi should be buried or where he should not be buried. The Supreme Court had all the times to open the courts in the midnight to whether Yaqub Memon should be hanged or not. So many instances the Supreme Court gave priority. Now here more than 100 crore people are anxiously waiting, and the fight is more than 500 years. And the matter even in the Indian courts has been more than seven decades. So where is the question of elections or electoral politics here? We want see, first of all, we had all the hopes that the Supreme Court will deliver. Now we want the government, definitely, as I said, we are only hopeful that the BJP government will only deliver on this. We are putting up pressure. We held Dharma Sabhas across the countries. We had lakhs of people on the ground. So it is the people, the emotions are running very high. And we want the Grand Temple to come up in the year of as soon as possible, and in 2019 it will be a reality.
Mahmood Paracha, this business about waiting
only by pocket sadhus.
No, Sharad Pradhan, I don't completely agree with your assertion, for the reason that the RSS's explanation is that we were first waiting for the Supreme Court to come out with an order. The Supreme Court said it would. The previous Chief Justice said this was an important matter. They were even working towards daily hearings. It's because there's a new Chief Justice, and he said this is not a matter of priority. So you can't accuse the RSS of getting impatient. They can argue instead, we were waiting patiently because we thought it was a priority for the Supreme Court. Now that the Chief Justice said it's not a priority, that's when we are getting impatient. That's why we are restless. That's why we want action now.
But the point is that if they have waited for so long, heavens will not fall if they wait for a few months more. What is the problem? Why should you try to accuse the Supreme Court, insinuate all kinds of things?
So the wait cannot be till eternity, Mr. Paracha. We want a judgment. It cannot be, the wait cannot be till eternity. It cannot be a never-ending story. It cannot be a never-ending story, Mr. Paracha.
Isn't it?
Hindus are not outsiders. We are the indigenous people. We are the indigenous people of this land. This land belongs to us. We are the Hindus. We are the original inhabitants of this land. We all know how Islam came. We all know how Christianity came to this land. We are the original people of this land.
Mahmood Paracha, on this question
Mr. Nair, just by
Rhetoric.
Just by raising your
Yes,
voice and
rhetoric
talking about the
apart.
temple, you don't become a Hindu. You have to become a good human being to be a Hindu.
Mr. Paracha,
Good Hindu means
the
do a lot of good
RSS
things which you can't
VHP's
do.
defense is
Can I
we
respond
were
to that?
waiting
Hindus
patiently.
automatically-
It's only
Why
after
you
the
are
Supreme
here
Court
because of
said
Hindus.
that this is not a
nation is
priority,
secular
there is no
because-
need for daily hearings. That's when restlessness started increasing. That's when impatience came into the picture. Mahmood Paracha.
This is another lie. This is another lie. This is another lie. See, in 2010, when Supreme Court stayed the operation of Allahabad High
nation
Court,
is secular only because of
every
Hindus.
party, including the see. Let us. We'll come to that, but let me bring out the facts first. In 2010, every party, including yours, said that we want a status quo. So where was the hurry then? There was no hurry then. Now, after the Supreme Court has taken so many years, 88 years, did you move any early hearing application? Not even one. So that is number two. So when elections are around the corner, then only you remember Ram Mandir. That's our basic point. And you reap benefits, political benefits out of Ram Mandir, and therefore you will keep it burning on a side, but you will never actually do something about it. That's our case, and that is the reason why Mr. Rakesh Sinha has been not available even for comments to the press. What happened to Rakesh Sinha Saab? So what happened to Rakesh Sinha Saab?
See, mosque has no mosque has no relevance or little relevance.
We want
you
see
can observe
from
your
our
namaz
side.
anywhere.
Babri Masjid case is open shut case, or from our side, Babri Masjid case is open and shut case. That is what we feel. So we are not shying away from the hearing. It was your party.
Amit Malviya, the one thing for the BJP to consider very seriously, building up to the general elections, is whether this is an issue that will get you incremental votes. Remember, the 2014 victory of the BJP led by the Prime Minister happened primarily because you were able to increase over the 19-20% you get typically in general elections by about 10-11% because of the additional aspirational vote. Now the BJP needs to consider this very carefully. You can rouse your own cadre, charge them up, but these are your own people. इन्होंने तो आप ही को वोट देना है. Now the point is, if you up the ante so much on the Ram temple, will you send the development vote, the aspiration vote away? That's something the BJP needs to consider. This is all mobilizing your own people. What the BJP needs to repeat what happened in 2014 is ensure all those extra people who voted for you, who don't ordinarily vote for the BJP, that they stay on the bandwagon and others join that BJP bandwagon as well. Amit Malviya.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to make two quick points. Number one, that it was Kapil Sibal, a Congress Rajya Sabha member and a former minister in the UPA, who pleaded in the court that the Ram temple case should be heard only after the 2019 general election. So it was the Congress party that linked 2019 and Ram temple and not the BJP, as is being argued by several people on your panel. Number two, there is no disconnect whatsoever within the BJP about the development agenda that Mr. Modi's government has pursued for the last 4.5 years. We have changed lives of millions of people at the bottom of the pyramid. This government in the last 4.5 years has done more than what several governments have done in the past 7 decades, and those are facts. The economy is doing well. There is a lot of activity which is spurring up employment, that is pushing up entrepreneurship. There is FDI, there is ease of business that is improved, there is aviation sector that is booming, the trains are running much better, cleaner, so on and so forth. So a lot of change has happened since 2014 and now. Not even a single blemish of corruption has been on this government, which used to be a daily talk in 2013. We tend to forget a lot of things, but the fact is a lot has changed. The country is improving for better. But it is not the same thing as saying the development and aspiration of 100 crore Hindus around the world cannot be met simultaneously. Are you arguing that the floating voters, you call them, are people who don't want a Ram temple? Are you saying that people who are upwardly mobile in our country are religiously inward looking? Is it your argument that they are atheist? Is it your argument that they accept the subjugation that we were put as a country for over several centuries is something that we should all accept meekly.
Now Sharad Pradhan, there are two ways of looking at this. You know, one is the argument that you are making that this is an idea that doesn't really work because you're basically mobilizing your own voters. Those guys, in any case, they may crib and curse, but they'll come and vote for you. And that you will send the pro-development voters away. That's one line of thinking. The other line of thinking is, because the opposition is coming together as a Mahagathbandhan, based primarily on caste-based vote banks, therefore, if the BJP is to win, it needs to create a larger arc, an arc of, you know, one of the entire Hindutva bandwagon or the entire Hindu vote as one, rising above caste, looking at core issues of identity, voting as per that identity. Then the SP, the BSP coming together doesn't make much of a difference because they'll still vote for the BJP. So you're saying it's a bad idea? It could also be, in the BJP's calculation, an election winning idea.
Well, that is how what you have said is precisely what the BJP is trying to do. But using Hindutva, there is a difference between Hindu and Hindutva. The Hindu, the common Hindu doesn't think like on the lines of Hindutva. Hindutva is going beyond. They want the temple. The common Hindu wants a temple, but not on the terms that the BJP and its allies want. Bypassing the constitution, bypassing all laws, they would accept the order of the Supreme Court only if it is in their favor. It's pretty, you know, it's very evident. You ask any of these VHP or BHP leaders, would they accept an order of the Supreme Court if it goes against the line of thinking? Muslims say no problem, if it goes against us we are fine. Why can't the Hindus also say the same if they really have respect for the judiciary of the highest judiciary?
Will the BHP RSS accept an order which goes against you?
This is your arrogance speaking. This is not talking like a law-abiding Hindu.
Mr. Sharad, nobody will have the guts. You know what will happen in this country. It is the birthplace of Lord Ram.
I am not talking about that.
Nobody can remove the idols from that place.
This is your threat. Then don't threaten. Then you are not a good Hindu. If you threaten, then you are like a Taliban.
It is not the arrogance, Mr. Sharad.
If you threaten, issue these kind of threats, then you are sounding not like a Hindu. It is not at all question. Let me tell you.
Our temple was demolished by power. Our temple was demolished. All the archaeological proofs say that there was a temple which was demolished. No proof. Why
so far, by the way, no ASI
report,
did not. Please read the ASI. Please read the ASI report. I have seen it and I have watched that. I have observed that excavation day in and out.
Malviya, on the back of what happened at Sabrimala, where the BJP is in Kerala openly opposing the Supreme Court order, this question will be asked. If the Supreme Court order, as and when it comes, goes against your side, will you accept it, or will there be even greater trouble once the order comes, especially if the order goes against you?
See, we are very hopeful.
Let Amit Malviya speak.
Rahul,
we are absolutely hopeful that the order is going to come in our favor.
I think anybody who has been following the Ram Temple issue and has read the Allahabad High Court judgment would never ever raise any question on the way the Supreme Court might or might not deliver its order. It is very clear that there was a Ram temple. There are several reports that have come through, and by the way, there have been a band of leftist historians and journalists who have for all these years tried to discredit the fact that there was no temple, and some people claim that they have read the Archaeological Survey of India report. There are people who also claim that they know Sanskrit and Arabic, and eventually when the court asked them, they deposed that they know neither of the two languages. So there has been a lot of effort to muddy waters around it, but please read the Allahabad High Court judgment. It's clear as water, saying that there was a temple. And by the way, the plea in the Supreme Court is not about establishing where there was a Ram temple. It is about establishing or challenging the Allahabad High Court judgment.
One second, Amit Malviya, hear my question, please. I don't want to shout, I have a bad throat. You are hopeful that the order will go in your favor, but with the court you never know, or do you? Because my question is, if the verdict goes against you, will you accept it? Because in Sabrimala, your government, your party is doing whatever it can on the ground in Kerala not to allow the Supreme Court's order to be implemented.
Look, Rahul, as to Sabrimala, We are reiterating again that there are certain issues that are very clear. And I again go back to the Allahabad High Court judgment. I am not going to prejudge what the Supreme Court is going to do and how we are going to react to it. But all I'm saying is, and I'm saying that again and again, that please read the Allahabad High Court judgment end to end. It is very, very clear. The matter is in the Supreme Court because the petitioners in this case are challenging the decision to trifurcate the land and give 2/3 to the Hindu and the rest to the Muslim community, because that was not even a plea. The challenge is not about establishing where there was a temple or not. The plea in Supreme Court is about ensuring that the entire land comes to Hindus. And that is the point that I want to make at this point in time. And it's important for anybody commenting on this issue to read the Allahabad High Court judgment, and it would make it very clear that the 8-year delay that has happened in the Supreme Court should not have happened in the first place. You can't keep blaming the Hindus for any impatience. The Hindus are not the only people who are responsible for maintaining a social fabric in this country. They also have legitimate demands, and they are finally expressing themselves. Don't crush it.
You've seen the protests during public meetings.
Just one question to ask.
Okay, Sharad Pradhan, very quickly because I'm out of time. 20 seconds.
Very quick. I just want to know from Mr. Nair and Amit Walvia, why is it that the biggest, the greatest devotee of Ram, the greatest devotee of Ram, Tulsi Das, did not care to write about this demolition when he was on this earth barely 40 years after Babur invaded India, and he was there. He wrote part of the Ramcharitmanas in Ayodhya. He refers to the masjid and the mandir, but he doesn't talk about the demolition. A man who devoted all his life to Ram should have written a volume only on the demolition. He would have been more angered than any of you or me.
Paracha, final words.
You know, Rahul.
Okay, let Malviya respond.
Sharad Chandra,
final word.
And several historians like
Mr.
Nayak or journalists have made this
Mr. Nayak and Pradhan are hopeful.
Allahabad High Court, and yet the judgment that has come has come. And therefore, there's no point revisiting what has already been settled. Let's look ahead. We must have a Ram temple in Ayodhya. We must have it at the soonest.
Mahmood Paracha, final words. I'm out of time.
Can I? Yes. Yeah. All I'm saying is that the Supreme Court stayed the Allahabad High Court judgment for good reason, and that too in a very short time. Second point is, if Mr. Nayak and Mr. Pradhan are very hopeful about a thing which happened 550 years ago, we are also hopeful that on December 1992, Babri Masjid was demolished in front of the whole world. So we also have hopes from Supreme Court. So there has to be a balance. Whichever side wins will have to follow the law of the land. And
that I think is very important, and of that there can be no debate. That if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. Win or lose, you have to accept the judgment. This business of accepting judgments only if it suits you, protesting if it doesn't, that is wrong. Whether this uprising, the unrest, the impatience is spontaneous or staged, I leave to you, our viewers, to decide also whether you believe this will actually help the BJP get extra voters or not.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.